So we will begin with Tim and start with Henry Bushnell from Yahoo.
Hey Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. Just wondering how soon before the game you found out that you'd be starting, and what that time between then and the game was like to get yourself prepared.
Literally 5 minutes before the game was about to start. It was everything was kind of a rush. I had to warm up, get ready quick, but mentally I was prepared for this game, and Coach gave me the task, and I just needed to focus and just get in with the boys and do what we had to do.
We'll go to Paul Tenorio from The Athletic.
Tim, I'm not sure. Were you aware? It looked like the sub was about to happen before you ended up getting the goal. Did you know that you were on your last couple minutes, and what went through your mind as that play unfolded and you scored? Maybe knowing, having glanced that this was the last few actions for you.
It's really funny because I saw Hoppy and DeAndre on the sideline getting ready to come in, so I kind of had the idea that I was gonna get subbed out, but my goal was just to stay focused until then. And it just so happened that the ball came out wide to Serge, and I saw the run, and I just hit it one time, and it happened to go in. So, it's just being focused in those moments.
Ron Blum from the Associated Press.
Tim, after going behind 60 seconds in, what did you and the guys say to each other and have to do to regroup mentally and keep in it?
Mentally, we were always there, even after we took the goal. To be honest, I didn't feel that it was a fair goal to us, but it is what it is, and we just had to stay focused and keep our game plan and just keep playing our game. And for me personally, I feel like we dominated the first half, dominated the second half, and we got the reward for it, so it's really good.
Ryan Talmadge from Goal.com.
Hey Tim, sort of piggybacking off that, when you go down a goal early against a team like Costa Rica, those are guys who have been through it before. They know what they're doing. They know how to protect the lead. So how do you kind of go about attacking that? It doesn't seem like you guys were afraid of attacking that or nervous about attacking that. How do you guys kind of go about breaking them down?
Yeah, we weren't nervous at all. Taking the goal, obviously it was a bummer to take the goal pretty early in the game, but we knew what our game plan was, and it was to expose their back line. And I feel like we did that. The outside backs played a huge role today. The wingers played great. Everyone played great. So, us coming together and just staying focused and adding that intensity, and dominating the game like we did. It was great tonight, and I feel like we got the job done.
Last question, Iva Skolarczak.
It's just not, like you said, you guys have taken control in the first half, but it seemed like Sergino's goal was kind of that energy boost that take it to another level. What did that goal do for you guys to just kind of take that weight off and let you know, okay, now we can run these guys over?
Obviously, taking the goal early, as we said before, was kind of rough. But we just knew that we had to keep attacking, and Serge, taking his responsibilities and just going and having that shot, it really gave us a boost. And once we got that goal back, we knew that we were back in the game, and we just had to get that second one, and we got it. And the 3 points was great, solid performance from everyone. So really happy about that.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Like, what?
That's next level right there.
I could even. Oh, but now you're in it.
Oh, sorry. This will be the bio steal. Because it wasn't in the shot.
Come on, Ili. Everybody saw you. National TV.
My bad.
Better? You can move over.
No, I'm good. Oh. Yeah, and it says please do not move.
I know, so you think they would.
I thought it was like ESPN or something. Kevin, did you do this? Did you do this?
thanks. Yes, please.
We're now joined by the head coach of the U.S. men's national team, Gregg Berhalter. Following Gregg, we'll have Sergino Dest. If you'd like to ask Gregg a question, please raise your hand now. We'll begin with Doug McIntyre from Fox.
Thank you, Michael. Congrats, Greg.
Thanks, Doug.
Greg, what went through your mind when that goal goes in a minute into the game? You realize that it's going to stand. You know, what are you thinking in that ball? Thank you.
It was, I think my initial thought was, here we go. We got to respond. We challenged the guys to respond after a poor performance in Panama, and this was going to be another element that we needed to respond to. It was early enough in the game. If we stayed calm and stuck to the game plan, I thought we'd be okay. Briefly flashed in my mind, Costa Rica just going to a really, really low block. Thankfully, they didn't do that. So, but credit to the guys for staying calm, hanging in there, and playing our game.
Next will be Brian Strauss from Sports Illustrated.
Hey, Greg, congratulations.
Thanks, Brian.
2 complicated windows, right? Trips and travel and adversity and injuries and ups and downs, but you finished both windows with the win. I'm curious about how that sequence of results and finishing with the win, how that helps your momentum, helps morale, helps the conversation, helps you kind of stay on a certain track. What does it mean to end with 3 points in both of these months heading into November in Mexico?
I think the mentality is take every game at a time and give your best and try to win every game. And sometimes you're going to do it, sometimes you're not. What I try to avoid, especially with the team, is that putting pressure on them because of external forces. We have enough internal pressure that we want to play a certain way, we want to play well, and we want to win games. But it's all of World Cup qualifying is difficult. All of World Cup qualifying is challenging, and sometimes I feel like people forgot that, and people think it's a cakewalk. And we're going to play the youngest team in the history of U.S. soccer in a game, and we're just going to breeze through these games. It's not realistic. What I will say is that the guys fight and the guys give everything, and that's all you can ask.
We'll go to Grant Wall.
Hey, Greg, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Greg.
The midfield tonight was much better than it was against Panama. What specifically did you see that made a difference in the midfield being better?
Yeah, so one of the things we looked at in the Panama game was just our lack of movement in general. And, we weren't moving enough. We weren't coming to the ball enough to open spaces up. We basically organized Panama with lack of movement. We had 3 guys up top that organized their back 4. We had 2 midfielders, central midfielders or attacking midfielders that organized their whole midfield line. And then we played against a 3v2 against their 2 strikers, and we did a really poor job with the lack of movement. Our fullbacks were way too high, basically turned it into a line of 5, and it was easy to defend. So we talked about we need to have more movement, and we got it today.
Next will be Ron Blum from the Associated Press.
Greg, you had said Sunday night that you wanted to wait till after Wednesday to evaluate the 3 games as a whole. What would you say about them? What would you do differently looking back, and what would you do the same?
Well, I think, one of the things we're proud of as a group is that, we talk about needing a team effort, and we show it by our lineup selections. We're not afraid to play anyone in camp, to start anyone in camp. And guys know when they come in and they're called into camp that they have they could have an opportunity to start games. And we're going to need everyone, all 26 players in camp, to be successful. So when I look at the window, we got 1 more point than we did in the first window. We won our home games, which you need to do. And we had a disappointing result away from home against a pretty strong, Panama team at home. So all in all, we move on. We start focusing on Mexico, and we go from there.
Sam Stejskal from The Athletic.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks, Greg. Congrats on the win tonight.
Thanks, Sam.
You talked a little bit about this when you were talking about the midfield, but in the first half in particular, you guys were really moving well off the ball, not just that midfield three, but the whole team moving the ball quickly. What did you think of the attacking performance, particularly in that first half?
Well, we came into the locker room, and I said, guys, there's very little for me to say here. There's a couple adjustments we made with our pressure. There was a little bit of adjustment we made on Brian Ruiz's side, to take advantage of him, his defending. And then other than that, we looked at if they went to a low block, what we could potentially do with playing balls behind their back line. Other than that, there was very little to critique. It was an excellent half. And I said to him, listen, if we keep up like this, we're winning the game. Just keep going. And really a good performance by the group. And happy that we got the win, and we move on.
Jeff Carlisle from ESPN.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Jeff.
You mentioned earlier how young the lineup was today, and obviously you're going against a hugely experienced team in Costa Rica. How did you feel like your team met that challenge, and even after getting the lead, how did you think your team, managed the game and saw it out?
Thank you for asking about that, Jeff. I said before, I don't think it gets talked about enough. 22 years and 200 days, basically 199 days was the average age of our starting lineup. That's basically unheard of in international football. If you go look at the Germanys, the France, Brazils, they're basically playing 28-year-old, 29-year-old teams. So for us to be navigating through this CONCACAF qualifying, which is a monster, with this group, and the amount of poise they showed on the field today, particularly going down a goal, and then the second half being up a goal and managing the game really well. I mean, Gianluca Buzio comes on, and he looks like he's 30. He's playing like he's 30 years old. So it's real. Again, I'm proud of the effort. The guys showed a lot of poise, and they're growing. They're growing as a team.
Emily Olson from USA Today.
Hey, Greg, thanks for the time. I wanted to go back to that. You mentioned the team aspect. Would you say that the situation tonight where Tim Weah comes in, he has to fill in for Paul Arriola, gets the performance, causes that second goal, an example of what you're talking about with his team effort? And then also, what are your thoughts on the fact that he scored right as if you were about to take him off?
It doesn't always happen like that. Amazing. But no, I think, the team didn't skip a beat. We go in the locker room and say, okay, Paul's out, Tim's in. It's completely normal. That's what I'm saying, is that everyone on this team expects that they can be playing and expects that they can be starting in the game. And, Timmy in particular, we had a long meeting yesterday. We watched video together, one-on-one meeting, and we're going over some stuff. And it was great to see him actually applying that to his performance today, because he was disappointed with his performance in Panama. And he really responded with a great attitude and a good performance. So happy for him, happy that he got the goal, and happy that we didn't make that sub 2 minutes earlier.
Paul Kennedy from Soccer America.
Congratulations, Greg. I believe all 8 uncapped players who you started out the camp with ended up playing. Can you speak a little bit about Chris Richards, who was the one who started today, and the fact, like you mentioned, Busso and Hoppy both got in, so that everyone can go home feeling part of a win?
Yeah, the guys aren't here to be passengers. We make that loud and clear. And, with Chris, I said, be patient. We were debating starting him against Panama, and we thought we wanted to put him in the best possible position to succeed. We're playing in Columbus. We knew what the fans would be like. We knew what the stadium would be like. And, so we opted for him. Gianluca, really, very similar. I happened to run into his parents in the lobby of the hotel, and they're giving me grief for him not playing. I said, just be patient. He's gonna get his opportunity. And we didn't hesitate to put him in at all, no matter what the score was today, and he showed why.
Just one point of information, 25 players so far getting their World Cup qualifying debut through 6 matches, the second most in U.S. soccer history in any cycle. We'll go to Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thanks, Michael. Great. Congratulations.
Thanks, John.
About Sergino Dest.
Yeah.
You've all seen what he contributed in the attack. There have been a lot of questions, I think, on our side of the ledger, or probably everybody's side of the ledger, about his defense in big games. And I wonder what you saw from him tonight and overall so far with this U.S. team, his defending.
You know, Sergino's an interesting player because it's almost like the sky's the limit for him. He could be as good as he wants to be. And, you know, you saw today with his attacking play, it's unreal. You know, with him and Eunice on the side together and Brendan, it's very difficult to deal with for the opponent. But, you know, for Serge, it's just hanging in there mentally, you know, really pushing himself to be the best when he's on the field. And I think these moments, again, we're forgetting how young of a player he is. A lot of times, you know, defenders rely on experience, and he just needs to gain experience. He's doing a great job. You know, he's played over 60 games for Barcelona already. I mean, that's, you know, it's a really impressive record, and he just needs to keep working.
Sorry, just one correction. The 25 players is third most all-time in U.S. soccer history. We'll go to Henry Bushnell from Yahoo.
Hey, Greg. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Henry.
I don't know if you remember this, but in the minute or so before the second goal, you guys were kind of camped in their half and lost the ball a couple times, but Costa Rica just couldn't get out, and you guys won the ball back immediately. And it seemed like that was a pattern at times throughout the game. Was there anything in particular that you liked about defensive transition tonight? Like, are there any reasons you guys were able to do that in particular?
Well, they had 10 guys really low, and they had one guy really high, and so they didn't have anyone in between that they can play to. You know, a lot of teams when you're playing in CONCACAF, they'll leave 3 players up or 2.5 players up, and they have an outlet pass, and they had no outlets, and we did a good job with our midfielders pinning them in. Our center backs cleaned everything up that was coming out, and it really helps you gain momentum in the game. I mean, there was a time where we'd lose the ball and get it right back, lose the ball, get it right back. So it was good. It helps you sustain attacks, and you know, a couple of those moments, Costa Rica's trying to transition with those players that are really low, and then it opens up space for your own offensive transition, and you can potentially score and take advantage of that.
We'll go to Kashmir Gomez from ESPN Costa Rica.
Hi, Greg. Good night. Kashmir Gomez here from ESPN in Costa Rica. I want to know your opinion about Brian Ruiz's development in the defensive area tonight. Do you take advantage for the poor level that showed Brian Ruiz in that specific region? Thank you.
You know, it's going to be hard for me to say a bad word about Brian Ruiz. You know, I've been a big fan of his. He's you know, an amazing player. He's contributed a ton to the Costa Rican national team over this last decade. And, you know, you can still see he understands soccer at a really, really high level. So, you know, it's great to see him out there on the field, and, you know, I know he means a lot to the team.
Next will be Kevin Baxter from the LA Times.
Hey, Greg, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Hey, Kevin.
I think this question you kind of talked around this question a little bit, but coming into this, if you'd known that you were going to give 25 players their debuts and get 11 points out of the first 6 games and get all this experience, you know, into your roster depth, I would imagine you'd be pretty happy. Do you feel like you ticked a lot of things off your to-do list?
I mean, listen, the main goal of the to-do list is qualify for the World Cup, and we're not there yet. And, you know, we can't rest until we're there. And then even when we get there, now it's about how can we perform in the World Cup. The goal is to give guys experience. We knew going into this qualifying group that a lot of guys were going to be getting their first experience in it. And it was part of the package. And for us, internally we're calm. We understand what we're doing. We understand that we need to get the guys experience, and we just go.
Michael DeCourcy from Sporting News.
Greg, obviously the goal that originated on Tim's foot meant a lot to you guys. Does it seem a bit harsh for that to be ruled an own goal, given what a rocket the shot was and obviously what the impact was?
Yeah, I don't think it's an own goal. I think we got to get that changed. It says, I'm looking at it now, and it says own goal, but I think it's Tim's goal. So we'll talk to FIFA about that, or whoever we need to talk to, and see if we can get that reversed.
Iva Sklarset from SBI Soccer.
Great, congrats on the win.
Thanks,
I wanted to ask you about Weston and Eunice. As far as Weston goes, you know, you give up that first minute goal, and I'm sure as a coach you're waiting to see who responds, who's the first to kind of take the charge. And it seemed like Weston did that. It seemed like he really kind of in his own way, took charge of the game. He ended up with like 16 recoveries and put in so much work. What did you think about how he kind of, his role in the turnaround and then you guys taking control? And as far as Eunice goes, you pull him out at halftime against Panama. You wonder how he might respond to that. And today he has the game that he has. What did you see in him in the days between the last game and this game that convinced you that he's ready for another shot? And what did you think of what he delivered tonight?
We had a lot of conversations with Eunice from the game in Panama to now, and his performance was a surprise to everybody. And I think once we started to understand him and the reason for a poor performance, we started working on how do we turn him back around. We know his talent. I mean, the talent is off the charts. And I know it's easy to talk really highly about a guy after he plays well and you win and everyone's happy, but I'm telling you, the kid is a player. Regarding Weston, he's another one that, his physicality, his desire alone can carry him and push the team. He plays with a lot of momentum. He plays with a lot of energy. In transition moments, he's explosive. He sees passes. For me, he's a really a quality player. I think something missing from him today was maybe a goal, but other than that, he performed well and certainly helped the team get the victory.
We'll go to Patrick Murphy.
Greg, I know.
Pat, there he is. Hey, bud, how you doing?
Good.
Are you Were you in the stadium today?
I am. I'm upstairs. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Should have come down and do it live. I miss you, man.
I know. I'll see. I can come see you afterwards.
All right.
I know you talked before about coming back here, and I know you've been to the stadium now at least a couple times. But being here tonight, coaching on this sideline back in Columbus in this new stadium, what did that mean to you? What was the experience like?
It was special. It really was. Just the whole thing. Well, from yesterday, the training and seeing all the staff and seeing all, the people that meant a lot to me for a long time, and then being on these sidelines, even though we weren't in, I don't even know the name. Is it still Mafre Stadium? Is it? Anyone know? No, I'm saying the other one. But anyway, and then coming here, and this is, it's beyond everyone's expectations, certainly mine, how nice this stadium is and how nice of an atmosphere is created when the fans are in there. So the locker room, the guys are just amazed by it, and it was a really special night to be home in Columbus, and thankfully we got the win, because if we didn't, it'd be tough to come back here. Historic Crew Stadium.
And with that, we'll say thanks to Greg and be back with Sergino Dest. We are back with U.S. men's national team defender Sergino Dest. We'll begin with questions and start with Stephen Goff from the Washington Post.
Hi, Sergino.
Hey.
Thanks for your time.
No problem.
What the team did not play well down in Panama, and then you fall behind very early tonight. What was your sense of what was going on, and what needed to change and reverse what was going on with this team?
I think at the beginning, we weren't sharp enough. But I mean, like after a couple minutes, we came into the game, and we created more chances. We were on their half. So, I mean, the mentality of this group is still right. We work together. We do it together. So, I mean, we won the game, and that's the most important. So we got the 3 points, and this group is tight right now. So the points were necessary.
Next will be Paul Tenorio from The Athletic.
Hey, Sergino, I wonder, when you got on the ball towards the top of the box, was it in your mind already that you wanted to try to get it to your left foot for the shot, or were you looking for a pass? And then also I saw when you came off as a sub that you had a chance to kind of get the crowd into it, your whole walk around back to the bench. I wonder if you could comment on just kind of getting the fans hyped up as you made your way back. Thank you.
Yes. No, at that moment, I never really think what I'm going to do, before that moment. But on that moment, I think it was Weston, he made like the running in behind, and the guy followed him. So there was space for me, so I just got it inside. And I thought like the only thing I could do at that moment was just shoot it, because we had to score, we were 1-0 down. So I felt like, we needed these points. So I was just trying to shoot, and it was an amazing goal at the end. And the crowd is amazing. I love the fans, I was trying to get them hyped up also for, the other players. And, we can feel that the fans have our back. So hopefully they will continue like that. And, we love you guys.
We'd also like to officially congratulate Serge on being named the U.S. Soccer Insider's Man of the Match. We'll go to Jeff Carlisle from ESPN.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, Sergino.
Hey.
What have your impressions been of this World Cup qualifying stretch for you? The last window and this window. I mean, it seems like you've had some downs, but you've had some incredible ups. Especially like tonight. What have your impressions been overall?
Obviously I grew up in Holland, and the CONCACAF teams they play a little bit different. It's the intensity is high. They work a lot. They work really hard, and it's just physical. But I mean, we can also do that. And I think if we just work as a team, we can all we can beat every team. Because I think work together is the most important, and I think we did that tonight.
Nicholas Mendola from NBC Sports.
Hey, thanks, Sergino. I wanted to ask you about that right side, and when you can have guys like Musa and Tim Weah, and especially on the goal, when you slip him through there, that is a very, very dangerous side of the field for you in attack. And what direction does Coach give you in terms of your responsibility sitting behind all of that?
The coach, he wants me to go forward a lot, because he knows that's my strength a lot, as well. And I mean, if I go forward, I can be creative and create chances for the team. So today, with Musa, with Weah, I think we did a pretty good job, and for me as well, in person, I just try to go forward a lot and try to be creative for the team, try to give some crosses in, try to score, because I feel like there is sometimes more chance from the sides, we can be more dangerous from the sides than from inside, because it's really crowded over there,
Next will be Estefan Mong.
Hey Sergino, I'm Estefan Monge from Deportes Repretel. I have two questions for you. The first one,
how was the experience of competing with a goalkeeper like Keylor Navas? The second, what weaknesses did you find of the Costa Rican national team? Thank you.
Yeah, it was great to play against Navas again. You know, we last year my shot didn't went in. You know, against the remontada in PSG. But today it went. Today it went, and I was really happy with it. You know, before the game, you know, we said hi to each other, so that's also good. You know, and the Costa Rica, the team. I think they have some good players. You know, Brian Ruiz. You know, I know him since I was younger because when I was younger, I watched FC Twente. That is where he played, and the weaknesses of Costa Rica, you know, I think on the side, you know, we could stretch them, and then with runs behind, I think they had a little bit trouble with that. So we took the advantage of it, and we created our chances like that.
Next will be Ryan Talmadge from Goal.com.
Hey, Sergino, look, when you score that goal in that moment, the team needs that. You know, they need that moment of excitement, of everything like that. The crowd needs it. And look, I've never scored a goal like that, and I've certainly never scored in World Cup qualifying. So when you're going from that goal, seeing it go in, to you run to your teammates, you jump on them like that, what does it feel like? You know, what are you thinking? What goes through you, and how do you kind of do that moment?
It's an amazing feeling, you know, because it's in a really important goal, and yeah, it was a really nice goal. So it's an amazing feeling, you know. Like at that moment, I was just happy. I was so happy, you know. Also because we were 1-0 down, so it was really important. And I was just running to my teammates because, you know, we all do it together. So I think we needed that moment.
Ivan Skolarczak.
Sergio, I wanted to take you back to September. The qualifiers in September obviously was a bit of a tough one for yourself personally. You left with an injury. You played in 2 draws. It was a rough September for you. Coming off of that, how much did that kind of make you like eager to get back, and how hungry were you to kind of get back with the team, and how much did that kind of motivate you coming into these games to kind of want to, you know, improve on September?
Yeah, it did a lot to me, you know, because we had 5 points the first window, but I felt like we have like a lot of really good talents, you know. We have a good team, good players, so I feel like we can win even more games, you know, and we should, because it's really important. We all wanna compete in the 2022 World Cup. So I think it was an eye-opener for all of us, you know, because for me it was the first time. For some of the guys it was the first time. So, you know, it was an eye-opener. And, I think this window we got 1 more point. So we're making improvements, but we still have a long way to go.
Next will be Charles Bone from MLSsoccer.com.
Hi, Sergino. Congrats on the night of the goal.
Thanks.
So, with the pressure I know you guys had, or the eagerness to get a strong start and come out of the gate strong, but also you're playing this team that's so smart defensively and bunkered, and then to have a goal go against you so early. How did you find the balance, both in preparation and then when the game is unfolding, to find the right balance between the energy and enthusiasm to get forward while being responsible with the defending?
You know, obviously, I have to be there to defend as well, but you know, the coach wants me to go forward a lot because he thinks I can be really helpful and creative for the team as well. You know, obviously we conceded a goal like really early in the game, but I think we did well after that, you know, because we weren't sharp enough at the beginning, but we did well after that, and I have no words for it. We just work as a team, and it's really nice to see. I think also for the people who watch the game, you see that we really press, we work as a team, you know, we like bros for each other, you know, and I think that's very important to compete on the highest level and to win games, because football doesn't have to be always like a nice possession game and stuff. You know, the points are the most important.
We'll take 2 more questions and start with Ronald Blum from the Associated Press.
Hi, Sergino. When you scored, were your shoelaces untied on that shot?
Yeah.
Also, when US fell behind, did it go through your mind, hey, we have to get back in gear quickly or this could come undone pretty fast?
Yeah, definitely. Like I don't know which minute it was. I think the second or something, but it was really fast, and we needed the points. We lost against Panama, so we can't lose again. And the group is too tight, as I said, so we needed it really bad. And I think my shoelaces were loosened because I watched it back, in the dressing room, and it was not tight.
Last question goes to Emily Olson from USA Today.
Hey, Sergio, thanks for the time. You mentioned watching Rose when you were younger. This team is a very young team, this U.S. men's national team. Is your age something that the group thinks about as you have something to prove or that you're younger and faster? Do you think about how young this group is when you're playing and going against these older teams?
I don't feel like I really have something to prove, but we have a really young team. We all have like talents, really upcoming talents, and yeah. Overall, it's just a team, So we all work together, and that's the most important, And we all get more experience because these games are tough, That's different than we used to play against. We're not used to play against like these opponents, and yeah, like working together is the most important. I've nothing else to say actually.
Well, good timing then, Serge. As we let Serge go, two final notes. One, we were able to get some sound from Zach Steffen, which we were happy to be able to share out to all of you. And with prior to the Mexico match starting tonight, the U.S. does sit in first place in the octagonal and can end the night in no less than second place. So thanks, Serge. Thank all of you for joining us, and have a good evening.
Thank you.